Hey, good evening, everyone. I'm Steve Walls here with my guy Darren Smith here live at the Negro League Baseball Museum for the Dugout Report Royals pregame show. Darren, what's going on, man? What's new?
Man, everything is good. I mean, we clinched last week, since we last broadcast. So yeah, I mean, I'm great. We're headed to the playoffs. Got a chance to see the last home game of the regular season.
Right.
And man, I'm just excited because I know we're about to start playing next Wednesday or Thursday of next week.
Yeah, playoffs start next week, so I mean, that's one positive thing to look forward to. Also, another positive thing: Sporting KC is out in Philly for the Gold Cup.
Yeah, the crazy thing is, I texted you yesterday. Ran into the head coach Peter Vermees at Baskin Robbins,
right,
of all places. Of all places, I was just going there to get a chocolate malt. And lo, while I'm placing my order, here he comes in with his father. So we're shooting the breeze or whatever. Say, Coach, aren't you on your way to Philly?
How is Coach Vermees? Is he cool? Is he what? How is he?
And man, he's a cool cat. Like just somebody just walking off the street. Like if you just didn't know him, like literally the funny thing was the lady at Baskin Robbins didn't have any idea who he was because Pete was just real cool.
Right.
He was real cool. And so when I kind of revealed the secret, she was like, "Why didn't you tell me? You just and it was just so funny being there." So
yeah.
I mean, he was a great guy, and the funniest thing out of all that, his father looks younger than him.
Really?
Really? I mean, I was like taking your father. I'm like, man, your father looks good shape. Looks like he look like he can play soccer for you.
He probably did play soccer.
Yeah. So I mean, it was just real cool. So wish him
his
well.
father has to be, because I know Peter's probably in his 50s, so his father has to be about 70.
His father looks good, man.
Really?
I mean, yeah, you know how they say you can't be father time.
Right.
He's in the running with it right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you guys want to know, Sporting KC, they have a hashtag going. It's called #BringHomeTheCup. So that's go check out the hashtag on Twitter and also I believe Facebook. The Cauldron is actually, they started that hashtag Bring Home the Cup, and I mean it's a lot. They just want to bring home that Gold Cup.
Oh yeah, and I expect them to do it. So, and they're playing Philly tonight. I think it's about 6:30 their time. So
yep.
Yeah, so we should know something real soon.
All right, so let's look at what we're going to have lined up for you guys today. We are going to look at the Royals game last night as they took on the Chicago White Sox, and Darren, it was the first game out of 3. The Royals ended up losing 4-2. Man, it was kind of surprising to me. I'm thinking, we'll get into it a little bit later.
Yeah, 'cause I want to know who. I could probably guess who pitched last night.
Oh yeah, your boy. But anyway, we'll get back into that. Okay, and 1 year ago today, man, the Royals faced the Oakland A's for what I think was a turnaround. The turnaround game for this franchise. We'll also look at the AL wildcard game from this day last year.
Okay.
So, in third base topic, we touched on it a bit last week, but it's been confirmed that Royals closer Greg Holland has a partial UCL tear in his elbow, so he will have Tommy John surgery. It's kind of one of those things Ned Yost beat around the bush when he talked about it last week, but we'll touch on that a little bit today. And also, finally, we'll look at the playoff schedule and what the fans have to look forward to in these next 5 road games, and then coming up next week as we start the playoffs.
Let's get it started.
All right, so last night the Royals faced the Chicago White Sox for the 3-game series opener. The White Sox took care of business as they tried to be the spoiler to the Royals as they defeated the Royals 4-2.
Steve, you're pretty handy with your compliments or with your way of words of trying to play the spoiler.
Oh, yeah.
They did a good job of that last night.
Yeah, one thing about it is the Blue Jays didn't play, so right now they have a 1.5 game lead on the Royals, which is kind of weird. And it's some people out there that are seeing. I saw a couple tweets today talking about that the Royals are in shutdown mode. They don't care about home field advantage. They don't care about. I'm like, dude, you think they're playing the game to win? So I mean, how would they not care?
You know what? And that's not even a good. I'm like you. I don't think that they're shutting it down. They're just getting beat.
Right.
Right. There's just no two way about it. I know it's funny because we were at the press conference Sunday after the game, and I thought about getting a question into to Yost, but it just didn't seem like the time or place because I only asked him 2 questions, and the biggest thing I want to know is, are the players having any fun? But then when you go to the locker room, and you ask them, they'll say it, but because I asked Lorenzo, was he having any fun? He said yes, but you could just see it in their body language that they're not.
Right.
I mean, now they won the game, but
it's like going through the motions, like getting up going to work every day.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and we've talked about it weekend the last few weeks. When you just feel like you get up and going to work, there's no fun in that because it becomes a hassle and becomes a struggle, and it's not fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like we talked about it during the summer when they're doing the whole Fetty Wap stuff. I mean, you can see the joy and the boyish and attitude, but now it's like, man, this is rough because now they find themselves after leading the entire season in the American League. Now they're actually trailing someone in the race to get home field advantage, and so. Whether or not they're feeling the pressure, I'm not quite sure, but something is going on.
Now, last night, your boy right-hander Johnny Cueto took on.
Your boy.
He matched up against White Sox right-hander Jeff Samardzija. Cueto went 6 innings, giving up 8 hits and 3 runs, including 4 runs, including 1 home run. Cueto, he threw 110 pitches, 69 of them being strikes. Another below average night for Cueto, man. He's
I was thinking about that on the way down here. It was 2 things I was thinking about. One, we were in the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
It just never even crossed my mind, man, let's go find this Cueto. It just, I don't, just didn't.
And he was sitting over there.
Yeah,
You didn't see him, but he was
But
sitting over there.
and I just didn't, it just never dawned on me, like,
Yeah.
a lot of people, let's go talk to him. It just didn't, just because of, one hitter and everybody want to talk to everyone else. But, I mean, I'm really thinking, man, dude, why do we make that trade? Because I know you've asked the question. If he pitches that ace game, and granted, we've gotten, in my opinion, 1 good game, and that was the clincher for when when we won the
When
the
it mattered.
division. But to be honest, we would have won it with or without him.
You think?
Yes,
Okay.
because we could just won it the next night. I mean, so and like I said, and not taking nothing away from him. It's just that since he's been our pitcher, he's had 8, 9 losses now, man. I mean, that's a lot of losses.
Yeah. Well, I mean, on the other side, Chicago's Jeff Samardzija, he lasted 7 innings, but he threw 8 hits. I mean, he allowed 8 hits and also 2 runs. So both runs being back-to-back homers. And Samardzija threw 111 pitches, 80 of them were strikes.
Now, I didn't get a chance to look at the box score, man, and tell the folks I just had a real bad headache last night, so I couldn't even watch the game. But when did Cueto give up those runs? Because I've always said that he gives up those runs early. Can you remember right offhand?
Yeah, well, what we're going to do, we're going to take a look right here, and
Okay.
we'll see. We'll take a look at the highlights from last night, courtesy of Fox Sports.
White Sox and the Royals on Tuesday night. Jeff Samardzija has lost 7 straight starts at home, looking to snap that skid against the AL Central champs. Opposing Samardzija, Johnny Cueto, he gets some big-time defensive supports in the bottom of the second.
The 3-1, swinging a long one to center. Going back, Kane at the track. He leaps at the wall. And this ball is caught by Kane at the top of the wall, 400 feet from home plate. What a catch.
As Moustakas doing what he can do, and Hosmer doing what he can do.
Swinging a line shot up the middle. That's a base hit. That's going to get Sanchez in. Eaton will run to third base at full speed, and a turn there, and he'll hold on. RBI single for Abreu. He's 2 for 2. Sox lead here in the third, 1-0.
That ball hit deep. Wheels back. Looks up. You can put it on the board. Yes. 2-run homer for Adam. Number 14, and it's a 3-0 game. That ball hit hard into left. Face back. And it's a 3-1 ball game. That's number 17 for him, and RBI number 89. And that ball hit deep into left center field. And it's a 3-2 ball game. 22 for Kendi. Pitch on the outside, but to no avail. They rack him up. And being a switch hitter, is that? Yes! What a play by Trace Thompson again! You gotta be bleeping me! What a play, mercy!
Duke with a look at second. The 2-0 dangerous pitch. Line drive. Caught by Alt at third base. Oh, he robbed them. A game catch to keep the Sox leading.
There's a shot. That's a gapper. Nobody's going to catch that one. So Trace, he's hauling it. He's going to be waved around. Here he comes. He'll score on the double by Alexei, and it's a 4-2 ball game.
Yes. White Sox pick up the 4-2 win as the Royals now fall a game and a half.
So if you look at last night, I mean, they were one play from cracking it open. I mean, as you seen, I think it was Gordon, where they basically robbed his hit. That would have brought in at least one run.
Yeah,
and tied up the game 3-3.
Yeah, looking back at the highlights, I mean, yeah, that was an excellent play by the third baseman, because obviously if that hit goes through, it at least ties the score up, and the momentum will shift back to the Royals. So yeah, I mean, you know what? I'm gonna go and give Cueto a break. He just, because even the home run didn't even look like it was a Barry Bonds type swing. It just looked like he really just swung that bat out there and it just made contact and just happened to just go over the fence.
Yeah, I mean, and some things like that, I mean, they do happen. So, I mean, one question for you is, I mean, what do you think about that loss? Is that any side of postseason play, you think?
Well, you asked me the darndest question, Steve. My thought on that is I would not have Johnny as the first pitcher to start the playoffs. Okay. I'd rather have him third or fourth in rotation, because I don't want the way he's pitching. I don't want us having a chance of going down 0-1. Okay,
that's fair. That's fair. I mean, I think this. I think it does give us a little bit of sight. I mean, like when we talked to Lorenzo Cain in the locker room, he let us know. I mean, regular season play, I mean, definitely is not postseason. I mean, postseason, they turn it up. They go in. Postseason play, he said it's a different kind of baseball, what he said in his words.
But I mean, because we both play sports. It's easier. I mean, you can talk it, but you just can't, it's not a switch. You can't really turn on and turn off. Like Tom Brady is great all year round. Right. You have to play at a high level. You can't just turn it off and on, because when you do that, one, you can get injured like that. If you just trying to go through the motions and wait till you get to the playoffs. So I mean, I disagree with him on that you can just turn it on, because if you go into the playoffs losing, how do you think you're just going to obviously just turn it around?
I mean, that's one of the things that people were talking about too. Is I read some of the posts and things, is people are like, well, what are they going to do? Are they going to just? Is it a light switch?
Yeah,
can you do that?
Yeah, I mean that's what we're sitting talking about.
And some people think, I mean, they're going to be the same Royals of old, but I mean, I don't see it that way.
Well, like I said, you just can't turn on. Look, Michael Jordan was great. Great in the regular season, great in the postseason, because you just can't. You can't turn it off and on like this, because if that was the case, I mean, hell, everybody would be playing 500 ball. So they can all just wait till you get to the playoffs.
True.
I mean, because if you're just going to turn it on, I mean, well, the Yankees and Toronto. I mean, because right now Toronto's playing so good. Okay, and they won 5 games in a row before last night's deal. So, I mean, if you do that,
I mean, if you look at the standings in Major League Baseball, we're 5th. We're behind the Yankees. We're not behind. We're behind Toronto. We're behind St. Louis. We're behind Pittsburgh
and Chicago.
Yep.
I mean, so we've been, if that's the case, we've turned it off for over a month now. Yeah. I mean, because we had the second best record to St. Louis, where it was just like, okay,
for at least a month.
Yeah, well, that we've fallen behind, because I mean, we've had the second best record all season, and now we're 5th.
Yeah. Well, when we come back, we're gonna look at what happened exactly 1 year ago today, which is what I call a turnaround for the Royals franchise. So when we come back to the Dugout Report, brought to you here live at the Negro League Baseball Museum, we'll be right back. Okay, so we're right back here at the Negro League Baseball Museum here on 18th and Vine. 1616 East 18th Street is the location. Come down here and you see we got a different view today, Darren. What you think about this, man?
I actually kind of like it, man. You know, people are like, oh, you all aren't really at the Negro League Museum.
I mean, now you can see the outside.
Yeah, it says it right there.
We don't have a backdrop, no green screen. It's all live, baby. We out here.
Hey, man, and the coolest thing about it is, you know, we got the gift shop right behind us. We got the actual museum behind us. There's you got the Jazz Museum right over here. You got the Visitor Center. I know people are probably want to see what it all looks like, and this is how it is.
Okay, so exactly 1 year ago today, the Royals took on the Oakland A's for the wild card game out at Kauffman Stadium. Now I know you were out of town in Louisiana, yeah. So you didn't get to actually experience the fandom and like the song we're just playing, kind of like the lifestyle that was in Kansas City at the time.
Nah, you know, and I felt real bad because, you know, we were talking, obviously we were communicating all the time, and the funniest thing was you're like, hey, man, if you're here, man, you know, we had a free World Series ticket for you. I'm like, God. I mean, and I was, and it's funny, too. You're like, if you can make it a bit for Game 7, and I mean, it was a 10-hour drive, but I was really trying to make it here for Game 7, but just couldn't do it. But, I mean, man, it was just, I mean, dude, you held it down for us up here, and, I mean, the Royals was just.
But you know what's better than just talking about it? Let's take a look and see, courtesy of Fox Sports, the wild card game.
After 6 months and 162 games, for two American League teams, everything came down to last night. Athletics, Royals, let's go. 1985, the last time playoff baseball was played in Kansas City. On the hill for the Royals, James, Big Game Shields. I went to high school with him, by the way. But James, my man, Hart High School in Newhall, California, did not teach you this. Brandon Moss with a monster shot to right. He came into the game with just 2 home runs in his last 61 and already giving the A's a 2-0 lead. Third inning, Eric Hosmer with a little bloop, not well hit, but in the box score, it's an RBI go-ahead single. Royals up 3-2. Sixth inning now. Brandon Moss at the plate again. Kiss it. Goodbye. Moss's second home run puts Oakland back up by 2. And here you see the count again, equaling his total of the last 61 games combined. Still in the 6th inning, the Oakland route is on Coco Crisp, not to be confused with Cookie Crisp, with the RBI single. Same score in the 8th. Royals clinging to life. Lorenzo Cain with an RBI single makes it 7-4. A few batters later, wild pitch. Eric Hosmer comes home, and just like that, it's a 1-run ball game. Now with 2 men on, Royals looking to take the lead. Luke Gregerson on the hill shuts the door on that rally, and the Royals are now 3 outs away from being eliminated. To the 9th we go. Jared Dyson swipes third. The tying run now 90 feet away. Everybody dance. This is what playoff ball is all about, right? Dyson still on third with Nori Oki looking for the game-winning home run deep to right, but not quite deep enough. It's still a sac fly, and in the 9th inning, we have a brand new ball game in Kansas City. 12th inning, nearly 5 hours after the game began, it's time to go home. Salvador Perez with a walk-off game-winning single. Kansas City advances to the next round where they will play the Los Angeles Angels. After 6...
Now, if you guys, I still get chills when I watch that game, man. I don't know. It's just something about that game where, believe it or not, a lot of people left. Like, before it went to extra innings, they're like, man, the Royals are down 3-5, 3-7. Come on, man. There's no way we're going to come back 5 runs.
Well, you know, the crazy thing about it, because I remember watching that game down there, and we were just talking about doing the highlights. It's amazing how many of those games went into extra innings.
Yep.
You know, I mean, you could have called us the comeback kid because, I mean, it seemed like every time we were always coming back from behind to win the game. And so, you know, with that being said, and, you know, seeing that once again, I mean, it's just amazing, man, just how good our team was last year. And then to be able to come back, we were trailing with 7-3 at one time, and then to come back tied 8-8, and then to win in the 12th inning. You know, because I remember a lot of those games didn't end until after midnight.
And so, I mean, if you look, even at Salvador Perez's hit, man, it was one of those ones where he was relieved when he made contact. If you saw him, he kind of, man, I will remember that forever. And I know a lot of people here. And one thing too, before I want to cut you off, but it brought a lot to the city. I mean, the city was happy at that point in time. For that, I think for that few hours after the game and a couple of days after that, people knew we were going to the playoffs first time in 30 years.
Well, and what I was about to add to that was the simple fact, and I was going to ask you, do you think, and I remember mentioning, I don't know if I mentioned to you, if I mentioned it to Lorenzo, it's like this year they're not going to be able to sneak up on anybody.
Oh, yeah.
Because obviously, they came back from behind, won the wild card game to get into the playoffs. Mm-hmm. The question is now whether or not, you can't rekindle that magic, but do you think that something new will happen, that'll make this year more special than last year? I mean, what kind of run? Because, they did the 8-0 run. Mm-hmm. I mean, what do you think they can do to make this year more special than last year besides winning? I mean, I guess what's the storyline to you?
I don't think it'll be any one thing. I mean, I think the only thing that we could possibly do to make it any greater than last year is win a World Series. I mean, and like everyone's been saying, is that it's win a World Series or bust.
Well, no. I mean, I agree, like I said, I agree that yes, for us it's World Series or bust. But I'm saying the storyline. I mean, it's always like a hero, like a Rocky type thing. I mean, would it take something like Johnny Cueto's been losing all these games, and then he comes in Game 7 of the ALCS or the World Series to, after all he's been through since he's been in Kansas City, can he muster up whatever it was that made him great in Cincinnati to help us win that? And if you're Yost, do you put Game 7 in his hand?
I mean, he'd have to show it in the
right.
And
that's like the type of storyline I'm saying.
Yeah.
That do you think that we,
But even that storyline, I really don't think that it would be. I really don't even think it'd be a storyline because he's doing what he's supposed to do. He's doing what we paid him to do, but
he hasn't done it.
Yeah, he hasn't done it. But here's the deal: everybody know that he's capable. So I don't really think that it'd be that big of a storyline because it's what he's supposed to do, is what we paid him to do, is what he's expected to do. So I think the only storyline that we're looking for is for a World Series championship. That's the only thing. I don't know. That's just me though. But I don't.
I'm with you.
Yeah. So.
I mean, it's definitely going to be one ride that we'll be there live to to take with them.
Yeah, and another thing is that the crowd. I think there's going to be more of a influx of people going out to the stadium. I mean, like last year, people really didn't know. They didn't know what to expect. I mean, the website was shut down, the Royals website. I mean, they did. When tickets went on sale, you could not even you start typing in www and it's messing up if you're in Kansas City. I'm serious, man. It was one of those things. I mean, it's just how it happened. All right, we'll take another break real quick. We'll be right back here at the Negro League. Try to wrap this thing up. Stay with us on www.sidelinesportstalkkc.com. Now we're here back at the Negro League Baseball Museum for the Dugout Report brought to you by Sideline Sports Talk. Steve Walls and Darren Smith here. Darren, we covered it in our last week's show. It's been confirmed that former Royals closer Greg Holland has been he's He suffered from a minor UCL tear and will undergo Tommy John surgery. What do you think about that?
A great loss to the team. You know, that's just in a stroke of bad luck that we've been having lately. That's just put an icing on the cap right there.
Now, Holland was shut down last week after pitching 48 games with a 3.83 ERA and with 32 saves. So, I mean, he's definitely like.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that's a big loss for us. I mean, and you know, when we do have a lead and you know don't have a closer out there to keep the lead for us, that hurts us.
Right. Now let's look at what Ned Yost had to say about the Royals law.
This has been ongoing a little bit. We got the MRI August 31st. Up to that point, Holly didn't want no part of getting an MRI. We knew there was changes in his elbow, but he didn't want to know what it was. He was still functional. He was still out there competing at a high level. 32 saves, or how many he's got proves that. But velocity was dropping down. Command was dropping down. It was just Holly, it's time to see what we got. And we don't know if it's a bone spur. We don't know what it is. We got the MRI, and there was no bone spurs. There was nothing, but he did have a tear of his ligament. So we discussed it at that point, and he said, "Look, okay, it is what it is. I'm still functioning. I can still pitch. I can still get outs. I can still close games." It's like, well, let's see. He's got a big lead. Let's just see how it goes. And he did. He racked up another 4 or 5 saves, but had a couple of rough outings there too. But you could just see the more we kept going, especially in Detroit when he came out in that game. I knew that would be a really big test for him because he was facing 2, 3, 4, and then in their lineup. We had a 1-run lead. And darn near got out of it. If Collins would have chased a couple of those sliders down in the zone, he would have gotten out of it. But he just got to a point where, I thought to myself, this kid is such a competitor. He's going to go until he can't go anymore. But we're at a point in our season where we can't afford to get knowing what we know with that elbow. It's just not the thing to do for him.
Now, if you listen to what Ned Yost was saying, he's basically like Holland was campaigning for himself to play through it because, as you hear what he said, last year, Holland, felt that he felt something in his elbow going into the playoffs last year, and he pitched through it, and then he refused an MRI because he wanted to, continue on into going into this year and also continue and finish the playoffs last year and go into the World Series. So I think Holland is a soldier, man, if you ask me.
I mean, he is. Trust me. But he didn't want to, like you say, he didn't want to come out. And I'm telling you, just listen to that clip. Ned Yost is just too cool for me sometimes, man. I mean, with the sunglasses, like he has no fear, nothing bothers him, And so, I mean, hey, that's my guy.
Yeah. Now, if you look at Holland's production over last year, man, he replaced Close. He's what you say a team player. He's a team player. Now he'll be replaced by closer, electric. I guess they call him electric right-hander Wade Davis now, and he's going 8-1 with an 0.97 ERA and 14 saves, 74 strikeouts, and 64 2/3 innings. So, I mean, Wade Davis is definitely he has the accolades, back himself up,
Well, like I said, man, just hopefully they can bring it all together because right now, I mean, they're just not playing their best ball right now. Yeah. And obviously because we're doing the show prior to this game, what are your thoughts from Sunday's game that we were at with their final home game of the regular season? What's your thoughts on that? Because we missed out on the no-hitter with that. We talked about that in the box.
Yeah. The Royals, they win. It seems like they have an aura about themselves where they figure out how to win when they're supposed to. And it started the end of it started probably almost 2 weeks leading into the end of last season, enough for them to make it to get to the wild card game. And then, of course, the wild card game. And then this year, I mean, every time they're supposed to win, they need to win, they do it.
I hope with what you just said, takes place when the playoffs start.
I do too.
I mean, especially if they're going to just turn it on.
All right, we'll take one more quick break, about a 45-second break, and we'll be right back here to wrap this show up here at the Negro League Baseball Museum for the Dugout Report, brought to you by Sideline Sports Talk. We'll be right back. So we're back here at the Negro League Baseball Museum for the Dugout Report here on SidelineSportsTalkKC.com. Man, let's wrap this thing up real quick. In 1 week, Darren, we'll be out there at the K.
But I can't wait.
Yeah, we'll be out at the K for the Royals are actually going to make it. They don't have to wild card game this way. They got the easy, well, not an easy route, but they got a little bit easier than they had it last year.
Well, yeah, but we need them to win out so they can at least have a bye game.
Right. Now, let's take a look at the playoff picture as a whole. If the season ended today, the Royals' schedule, okay, so the AL Division Series best of 5. As it stands, the Royals would have home field advantage against the Texans. That's who they'll face. And in one series, and the Blue Jays would have a home field advantage in the wild card winner. I mean, both series will be played on the same days. Now, the TV times and networks, they're to be announced, of course, but it could be Fox Sports 1, MLB Network, and they all could air the games. Now, Thursday, October 8th, Game 1 at the better seed. So, possibly for the Royals, the Game 1 will be at Kauffman. And then Game 2, October 9th, will be at Kauffman. And then Game 3 will be at worst seed. So, it'd be probably in Texas. And then Game 4, if needed, it'd be in Texas. And then Game 5 will be and back at Kauffman. That's if it needed to go 5 games.
Right. Well, I mean, it's. I feel like this when we go out there. Because I'm presumably going to be doing our show from out there.
Yep.
We'll have the tailgate going as well. Cause, we definitely can't be out there.
Now, I wanted to look at the all the way up into the World Series, but I felt like.
You want to jump the gun?
Yeah. We don't need to do that. I feel like this year
the way we've been playing, I'm like, let's just get through East Series first before we count our chickens. It'd be different if we had a record playing like St. Louis or any of those teams in the NL. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we could think like that. But since we led all season, now we got the 5th best record. Let's not count our chickens before they hatch.
Yeah, and I mean, when I look at how it's gonna be out there. I mean, people gonna know that they're gonna get there. I mean, some people aren't even gonna go to work on Thursday, man, because they're gonna be ready to go out to the stadium. Like last year, it was crazy because.
What time did they open up the ballpark last year? What
they did was they had giveaways every day. So like one of the days of all the days you got like a lanyard with a Chevy lanyard, and you could hold your as a like commemorative type deal with the plastic, and you put your ticket in there. And they did it at all the gates, and then some of the days they gave like rally towels that said "Go Royals," and they gave away a lot of stuff. In the gates, I think they opened up parking lots. The game was at 7, so I think that
what, and that's the other thing too, because you got
two,
because you have now will all 4 games be played on the same day?
No, just 2.
Okay,
so Wednesday they'll be. Okay, so Tuesday and Wednesday will be the wild card game.
Right.
And then Thursday it'll be the AL, Friday will be the NL.
Okay. But I guess the question is, will the games go on at the same time, just on different networks, or will they be staggered?
Yeah, staggered.
Okay, so then I guess the question is, what time would we play?
Well, yeah, so we have the almost the West Coast time games. So we'll be played more or less in the later game. Yeah, so I mean, because like you have the Yankees and And yeah, so they'll be played in like St. Louis. They'll still be played out in for the East Coast. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
it's weird, but it works.
I like the late game. Look, I don't sleep no way, so hey, we'll be up late. That's fine.
Now, so let's look at tonight's game. The second game of the 3-game series against the White Sox. On the hill tonight, we have Royals right-hander Easy Eddie is what I call him, Edison Volquez, and he'll take on the White Sox left-hander Jose Quintana. And Volquez is coming off of almost two identical starts, allowing 3 runs in 6 innings, including a loss to the Indians last Friday. Now, White Sox Quintana will be looking for his single season high, which is crazy because he's looking for his 10th win and ranks 8th in the AL in ERA. He's 2 2/3 innings shy of 200. So, I mean, that's going to be pretty interesting. He's going to be trying to go for that.
Oh well, yeah, he'll get that.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think he have any problems giving.
Just depends.
Really?
I mean, unless we come out stroking. I mean, it's very possible. But you know what? I'm excited for these next couple weeks. I mean, what's your thoughts on the playoff picture as a whole? I mean, is it even though it's like you said, they're not going to be able to sneak up on anybody? What's your thoughts? I mean, we've been losing a little bit. It's kind of been that up and down. But like Lorenzo Cain said, if they feel like they can turn it on and turn it off.
Hey man,
I mean, I believe
you know what? That's exactly where I was going. That's exactly because I was sitting there thinking, what I'm looking forward to is to see whether or not they quote unquote can turn it on. Mm-hmm. I mean, literally, you took the words right out of my mouth because, my first thought is it's going to be my first playoff game since I was out of town last year. So being able to experience that, I'll have my own personal joy and satisfaction or whatever of seeing our team make it. But I'm like you, because if he doesn't, I'm gonna hold his feet to the fire when we interview him. Like, hey man, you said you turn it off. What happened?
Right now, Yost has announced his rotation for this weekend, and people are kind of saying that it can be kind of leading up to the playoffs, which they're starting off with Royals right-hander Yordano Ventura, and then the starter for Sunday's regular season finale is right-hander Johnny Cueto. So, but they're not starting Cueto in the first game in game one. They'll be starting Ventura, which is what they did last. Well, no, they started James Shields and led up to Ventura. So, I don't know.
So, what it looks like is Cueto will be pitching game 3. Mm-hmm. So, and like I said, that depends on how we play. If we turn it on,
he'll pitch game 2.
He pitch game 2.
Yeah, he'll pitch game 2. He'll pitch game 2 because what they have is Ventura on Saturday night and then Johnny Cueto on Sunday.
Okay, so I guess you're saying got enough days in between. Okay, well, I can see that.
Yeah, so here's some facts in case you didn't know. With Sunday's 3-0 win, last Sunday's 3-0 win over the Indians, Royals reached 90 wins, accomplishing something that only one other team in baseball history has done. They've improved their record for 6 straight seasons. Now, after winning 65 games in 2008, the Royals then won 67 in 2009, 71 in 2010, 72 and 11, 86 and 12, 89 and 13, and now 90.
I was on my laughter. You said, in case you didn't know.
I mean, in case you didn't know. I mean,
I was right there when that stuff was announced. That's a good one. Okay. Now, in case you didn't.
Let me cut you off. The only other team to do that was 1919 to 1925, the Philadelphia A's. And they achieved that stretch of continued improvement.
Now, this lets you know that he knows that I knew that because that's exactly what I was about to ask him. Now, what about the attendance?
Now, the attendance is another factoid, and I know you wrote it down, but I kind of got that from you. But anyway, the complete numbers wrote in when we were there Sunday, and Kansas City drew a little over 2 million, 2,708,549 through 81 dates at Kauffman Stadium. 60 of the crowd's top 30,000. And the Royals averaged 33,439 per night. The previous single attendance record was 2,477,000. So, I mean, that was set in 1989. So we're about we're about 300 more thousand ahead than we were last year. So that lets you know that the playoffs this year are going to be that many more people are going to be going out there because people have actually I think people actually probably started saving up their money just in case. I mean, they knew, this team was going to be good. We didn't lose anybody but a couple people. So, I think they felt like, we're going to save up our money and start, saving to go to the playoff games.
The thing that I'm excited about, especially when with that attendance, because we were at the All-Star game, and I kept saying, man, you know, I thought literally up until we were at the All-Star game, and you know, I thought we had a 50,000 seat stadium. I was, you know, that was just my thinking. Like, that is what, you know, that's what I was just thinking. Like, hey, we get there, you know, because when they announced the attendance at the All-Star, I was like, what are you so really? And then, you know, we were going back and forth, said, man, it can't be, you know, because I'm thinking obviously football stadium, you're thinking between 67 and 80,000 people, and you're thinking of baseball stadium. I just didn't realize that our stadium held under 40,000.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
well,
I mean, and to be able to make that attendance mark,
and they'll sell more tickets than that. I mean, playoff. I mean,
I'm pretty sure they have a lot of standing
Oh,
room
yeah.
stuff. But then, you know, that really lets me think that, man, during those down years that we had, man, I just had no idea.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at 12,000 people going out to the park, think about that. Those down years. I mean, we had you could sit anywhere and
that's
crazy
exactly what we were doing.
And no, the crazy thing about it was people were buying those $10 tickets, $5 tickets, and
moving down.
You could sit anywhere you wanted, anywhere. And believe it or not, they had those whole season. You can get season tickets for like cheap, $300. You sit down low, and if you didn't get season, if everybody kept saying we need to get season tickets because if they're going to be good, they're going to be good, they're going to be good, they're going to be good. So if some people, I think they had their season tickets for the past 10, 15 years, and it's worked out for them, and they're sitting right down low.
Kind of like the Chiefs, but
oh yeah,
but that's a whole nother story.
Well, we would like to thank you guys for joining us today. For Steve Walls and Darren Smith, man, we had fun, man. It's our 15th show.
Oh man, look, hey. I'm waiting for number 16. We can take this bad boy on the road on location.
Now catch us next week at Kauffman Stadium. Now we haven't decided yet whether if we're going to be here next Wednesday because the game will be next Thursday out at Kauffman Stadium. So we might just surprise you and do a show here Wednesday and then go out for Thursday. Never know. Just depending on how the week flows. But we will definitely be out of the K next Thursday. So come check us out. Follow us on all of our social networks. Follow us on Twitter, on Instagram. On Twitter, you can follow us at Sideline Sport KC. On Instagram, it's Sideline Sports Talk KC. And on Facebook, /Sideline Sports Talk KC. And always, watch us on our website at www.sidelinesportstalkkc.com. Now, Darren, what's your Instagram, Twitter, and all that?
Well, if you want to follow me on Facebook and Instagram, you can do so at D Smith Digital, or Darren. Just find Honorable Darren L. Smith on Facebook, and on Twitter and Periscope, you can follow me at Rock316.
Now, of course, you can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and everything else at Steve Walls KC. And also, just so you guys remember, the Chiefs have one more road game in Cincinnati this coming up week, and then the following week we'll be right back out for the Red Hour Show at Arrowhead Stadium. So
October 11th.
October 11th. So yeah, come check us out at that. And also on Friday, 2 days from now, we'll be at Lee Summit North High School for the high school game day of the week. Now, Darren, I was out there yesterday visiting with the AD, Mr. McGurk, and he said the students are, man, they excited. They getting together, their theme, and it's their homecoming, so it should be rocking tomorrow night.
But the question is, are they going to be live or then, you know?
I think they will. If I had to put my bottom dollar on it, I bet they would.
Well, I'm not putting no money on it either.
Hey, I'm telling you. When I was there yesterday, the football team was like, man, we're going to have it. I'm telling you now. Today, what time is 6:47 on September 30th? Put that down.
Now,
it's gonna be
look, I'm gonna put pressure on them for the simple fact. Unfortunately, all of our teams that we've had thus far that's been our high school game of the week, the home team has lost. So we're gonna put some pressure on them to see what they can turn around and do.
Right, and so it'll be Lee Summit North versus Columbia Battle. It should be a good matchup, man.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Lee Summit North's 5-1. New coach, new AD's only been there 3 years. Man, they turning. We'll have their volleyball team out. Their volleyball team is like 12-4. Their swim team is going to state. Their soccer team's doing good. Their baseball team is doing good.
They have a marching band.
Their marching band will be there. And I'm telling you, man, it's gonna be. Y'all gotta watch it.
It's gonna be live
on Friday for our high school game day of the week. The high school game day show on SidelineSportsTalkKC.com. Right here, you gotta watch it. It's gonna
That's
be
what
great.
we're known for.
Yeah.
For the hypest and the largest and livest,
biggest and livest pep rally sports show around. So you guys gotta watch that. Also, like I already told you guys, follow us on Twitter, Sideline Sports Talk, Sideline Sport KC, on Instagram at Sideline Sports Talk KC. and follow you and myself. Just check us out, man. We have a lot to say.
Now, hold on. Now, there's somebody in particular that we got to make sure we give him a shout out.
Oh yeah, we're gonna give out. We're gonna say thank you to the Negro League Baseball Museum. Also, thank you to Miss Kathy. Thank you to the crew who's been here the whole show, and they don't hear us talking about them, but we gave y'all a shout out today, just so you guys know. Also, thank you to Mr. Kendrick for allowing us to be down here. We had a new look today, man. I like it out here.
You know what? I mean, you know, whether we inside or outside, we here. You know, because look, when the playoffs start, I guarantee you Fox and ESPN, they're going to try to come swing through that. They can do so, but we got first right of refusal.
All right, so we hope you guys have a great rest of the week. We out.